Hi guys, welcome back to my newest wig video. I finished off the other one showing you a few that I'd got that were quite recent, and I did have some more, but as I said in the last video, I wanted to break it down into two videos so that they're in a little bit smaller chunks so that you can absorb them without getting too bored and without taking in too much information. So I'm going to start off with this little beauty that I got here. I'm going to show you on the wig head. This one, the person that I bought it from didn't know where it came from. They were unaware of the style. It looks to me like it might be JB Extension, and it looks a little bit like their Prank colouring, but I'm not 100% sure myself. They did say that it needed a bit of work when I got it, and it had almost like a weird filmy coating on it, which they thought was probably from product build-up. So the first thing that I did was wash it. I did add a very small portion of human hair clarifying shampoo in just to get all of that product out, and then I carried on using wig stuff and it came out brilliantly. I let it dry naturally and I was really happy with the results. So it maintained all of the waves. I did use it in cold water though, because I didn't want to ruin those waves. So I'm glad that I did that. But looking at the colour, I definitely think that this is likely to be JB Wigs in Prank. I don't know what the style of the wig is, to be honest, because as I say, the person didn't know. But it was a bargain. I think I paid about £30 for it. And I'm really happy with it, especially now that all that product's out. I love these gentle waves in it and that little sort of combination of brown with a little bit of pink through it. With my natural hair as it is, I would probably have to grip it down or possibly even glue it down if I wanted to wear it all day, just because my own hair does show through because the lace is cut back quite a lot. But I don't have a problem with that because I like the lace cut quite a lot anyway. So for me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So that was the first investment for me this week. The second one I got was a brand that I've been wanting to try for a while. This is from Rain Wigs. This came with the message on it that it was customised. Now, I don't know whether it was customised by the person I got it from or by Rain Wigs, but it's got these cute little plaits in with a little bit of, I don't know, Medusa vibe kind of thing. Again, it's a lace front, but I'm always up for trying new wigs and new quality. And so I was really happy to be able to give this a try. I think the quality of the wig's really good actually. It's really nice. The hair quality is good. It's obviously been well looked after. It has got darker knotting on the lace, but it doesn't seem to be that noticeable. I think because it's probably been plucked a little bit at the front to make it look more natural, which works really well for it. And I love the combination of that darker brown, almost black, with the pink. I think it makes it look really pretty. So I was really quite pleased with that one as well. I'm back with another one here from Chelsea Smith. This one, they didn't know the name of the person I bought it from. It's got quite a dark brown to it, but it's got some lighter brown pieces in. I've got quite a few Chelsea wigs, and looking at this bag, I don't know whether it was a limited edition one that they released or whether it was one of the older ones, but it's not the bags that they're using now, which tells me that it's not current. The wig itself though is really nice. I love the style. It's kind of like that length that I prefer. It's not too full at the top so that it looks ridiculously poofy. Lace is brilliant on it. It looks like it's been plucked. I don't know whether it was by the lady that had it or whether that was done prior, but yeah, I really love it. I love the style of it. I love the colours of it. I was quite surprised because most of the ones I buy from Chelsea Smith are actually a lot lighter, and I don't usually go for necessarily the darker ones, but I'm glad I took a chance on this one because it's just beautiful. And this one was my favourite of the four that I got from the same person. This is Arden in Cookie Buttermelt, and again this is a Chelsea Smith wig. I do like the fact that on these wigs they do put the size on the inside in the label, which really helps, especially if you're selling on. This one is a medium. I have discovered I can get in all of the sizes. The large one I just don't do the belts upon. The medium fits as it should, and the small one is absolutely fine. It doesn't seem to be that much difference circumference wise. I love the waves on this. It's really pretty. I think the only thing I would do on this one is to tame down that top a little bit, because I do think that it does stick up a little bit more at the top. I'm being very gentle with brushing it because I don't want to brush out all of the waves in it, because it's really, really nice. And I love the fact that it's kind of like a beachy wave. But I did need to brush the top down a little bit just so it doesn't stick up as much. Again, with my hair being as red as it is at the moment, I would probably have to grip it down. Either that or I would probably glue it down. But I just love that sort of darker brown with that really nice sort of hint of blonde through it. It's a stunning wig, and I like the fact that it's got shorter parts here and it's slightly longer underneath as well. It's one of those styles that I just thought, I'm gonna love this, and I do. I really do. I think it's lovely. It's kind of like, I suppose you'd call it almost like a butterfly cut in the layers, in the fact that you've got the longer and the shorter ones. Now, whether that was cut that way when it came or whether the person cut it like that, I don't know, but I do know that I really like it. This one came from a very good friend of mine. She's so lovely and she always sends me the best wigs. This is a JB extension wig. It is Candy in Auburn. I've had a few JB wigs and some of them I've just not got along with style wise, but this one is what I would call a me wig. It's just the sort of way I would have my hair if it was this length and I could be bothered to dye it again, which most of the time I can't, which is why I'm keeping it red for now. But I just love this. I love the layers on it. I love the hints of the lighter colour through it. It's just beautiful. It's one of those wigs that you can just almost throw on and go, but it still looks really glamorous. And I'm very grateful to her for sending it to me. It's absolutely beautiful. She always has the best taste in wigs, I think. But I just wish my red hair wasn't sticking out so much. It's probably worse at the moment because I've recently dyed it fresh as well. So all of those little hairs that usually have gone back to my natural colour are still red. And so it shows up a little bit more. But yes, that is Candy. This is another Chelsea Smith one, and all I know about it is it says Summit Blonde. Now I don't know whether that means that the style is Summit and it's in blonde, or whether the colour is Summit Blonde. It doesn't really say. Interesting. I've just looked inside it and somebody's written Sammy in it, which was not the name of the person. So I'm guessing that the wig is Sammy in Summit Blonde and it's a medium. Now this is a classic bob, which is a style that I really like. This is how I thought Lolly might look when I first got it, but it didn't. I've since straightened Lolly, so it is a bit more like this. But I love the darker roots on this one. And then I love that it's kind of like that very sharp, pointy bob. This is a blonde that I can wear, and it just makes me feel really glamorous. It's really pretty. Really like this wig. I think that was a good buy. This one is a beautiful little bob that I got. The lady didn't know where it was from, she couldn't remember. But when I looked inside the label, it says Hair Anatomy. And so I'm guessing it's a Hair Anatomy wig. Hair Anatomy is another one that I've always wanted to try and never had the chance. And so I was happy to give it a go. And I've got to say, it's actually really lovely quality. It's just a very sort of straight black bob. And yes, I have got one similar. I've got Demi, which is the one from Switch Up Style, which is quite similar to this one, but this one is a slightly different length, not by much. But I think the difference with Demi is sort of pure straight, whereas this one, it's got a side parting and it's sort of more of a volumized bob, I'd say, is the way I put it. And yes, it is very slight difference, but I really like it and I'm keeping it. And I also love the fact that it's got a really good hairline to it as well. It's like the lace is so invisible on these wigs that it just looks like natural hair. Really good. This one, the lady did know where it came from. However, she didn't know what the style was, which is fine. The reason I like to note the style is because if you guys are watching the video and you want to try and hunt one down, even if it's pre-loved, if I tell you what the wig's called, if I do know, and the shade, it helps you to find it. There's nothing worse to me than watching a video and seeing an absolutely stunning wig and thinking, oh, I'd really love to look for that one, and then not being able to find it because you don't know any information about it. And so I try to provide you with all the information that I've got. And if you look on my Instagram page at The Love of Wigs, you will find that I've actually catalogued them all and put as much information on them as possible. The hairline on this I really love. I could probably sit it up a little bit higher. Beautiful, soft sort of Hollywood wave kind of style. I like the fact that it's got a little bit of volume on this one, where usually I'm against volume. This one for the wig actually works quite well and makes it look really natural. This is one that I got off a pre-loved site. When I got it, it looked a lot shorter than it was because it's curly. All the curls were bunched up together, and so I thought I was getting a shorter wig. It's a lace front, but when I tried it on, turns out it's not so short after all. It actually comes all the way down to shoulder length. I wasn't disappointed by that, but I have got similar. So I was debating whether to keep it or not, or whether to get rid of it, but it actually looks really nice on. Unlike my others, this one has got sort of like a raised back part here. Usually I wouldn't like that, I'd want to flatten it down, but I kind of like it. I think it suits the style of the wig, and so I've left that because it's kind of like a 60s bouffant type look. Obviously reds are always going to be my wanna keeps, but I can imagine this looking good with a nice headband as well, and that sort of sticking up there. So yeah, I'm going to keep it as it is and not mess around with it too much, just so that I can keep that sort of retro style with this one. A few more wigs to show you, obviously another day, because I've changed outfit again. I got a set of 3 wigs from someone that were all Chelsea Smith ones. They're all kind of gingers, which is one of my favourite sort of shades, so strawberry blonde, ginger, that kind of thing. This first one, I don't know what the shade is, but the wig itself is called Ellery. It's got quite soft waves to it. Lace seems quite good on it, the usual Chelsea cap. I have opted for a lighter wig cap today so that the hairlines look a little bit better, because sometimes when you wear a darker wig cap underneath, it's more noticeable. But this one's quite good because it almost has like the tabs on it that you can actually glue down. If I wore it for more than an hour or so, if I was going out in it, I think I probably would glue this down. But it's a very nice shade. It's got really nice part on it as well. I think it might be one of the older styles because I don't remember seeing it recently, but it's kind of like this strawberry blonde, and you can see it's got a slightly darker root, but it's sort of very natural looking as well. I like the way the sort of waves just fall. It gives it that sort of very effortless look. This one, again Chelsea Smith, we don't have a name for because the person I got it from didn't know. It's another ginger one. It's quite hard to define the shade on this one. As I'm looking at it, it looks like a strawberry blonde, but it's got an almost pink tinge to it. It's the only way I can describe it. And there is, at the back, some lighter pieces as well. Really like the style. Again, it's got like a very loose wave to it, which I always prefer a casual sort of style because it's easier to wear on a day-to-day basis. But I think this one is very sort of girl next door. Yeah, it's a shame it's an unknown style. I could probably find out what it is if I did a bit of rooting around the internet. But I do find that the thing with Chelsea Smith wigs is the shades and the styles are so similar. Then there will be a fraction of a difference between them, but sometimes it's not enough to define one from the other. So it's really quite difficult. This is something that I hadn't seen before. It was in a completely different style of bag that I've had, and I've had a few. And inside the tag, although it's still Chelsea Smith, it says Pretty Pomp on it. I did a little bit of research, and I think before they went with Chelsea Smith crowns, because she was Chelsea Smith Cosmetics, when they started branching out into wigs, they called the wigs the Pretty Pomp, so that was kind of the side of the business. So I'm guessing from that that this is probably one of the quite early wigs. And this one is called Spice Sharpay. Now I know you can get Sharpay short and your Sharpay long. There's various different Sharpays, but this is a spicy red. I was quite interested to see how this compared to the other ones, with it being a slightly older one. I wondered if sort of quality wise there was a lot of difference, but you get the same quality as you do with the other ones. So the lace is still really good. There's a little bit more hair around here, which gives it, I don't know whether the previous owners popped this in or whether it's just something that came with the wig, but it does give it kind of a more natural look, not so polished around that part. Sometimes when you don't have any hair around the part, it doesn't look very natural and it almost looks more fake, even if it looks smoother. I think as well, with it being called Pretty Pomp, the idea is that the crowns are slightly higher, or can be, so this could probably quite easily be put into like a 60s updo, you know, like a beehive, which I think would be really nice. But again, loving my gingers, and this one is no exception. I think it needs a bit of a brush, but other than that, it's a really nice wig. I've also gone back to Wonder of Wigs as well. I had two of those. This one is Wonder of Wigs Charmaine. This is quite a nice little bob style, which I quite like. It's mainly dark brown, but you can see it's got some caramel pieces in it. Wonder of Wigs is one of my other favourite brands, and this is why. The lace at the front of them is always really good, and they just look really natural when they're on. This one in particular I really like the style of, because this is sort of a very natural hairstyle, like you would have just a classic bob, but it does have that little trace of colour through it, sort of the low lights in it, which I think is really pretty. And I love the hairline on this. So that is one of my new faves. And this one is Wonder of Wigs Brittany. This one is very different. I really like it. It's mainly brown based, and you can see it's got some blonde highlights through, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but in with that brown there's also some navy blue, which is really hard to pick out unless you're looking for it, but there is hints of navy blue in there as well, which just gives it another dimension. It's subtle enough that you can't really notice, but it's enough that it gives it just that little bit extra. Now what I like about this one is it's got the really good hairline on it. When they have what sort of gets known as the Scandi hairline, as in it's got the very light hairs at the front, that tends to really make them look more natural. I do find on this one, opposed to the other one, that the lace does show quite a bit on it. I don't know why that is, because even on my normal skin, if I move it further down, you can see that lace. So I think personally it probably just needs cutting back a little bit more so it's not as noticeable. Some people quite like to have a lot of extra lace so that they can glue it down, and I could do that and melt it in, but I might just take it back slightly more, because I think on me, because I've probably, I don't know, got a high forehead, having that lace slightly further back just makes a bit of a difference. Because here, look, it looks like I've got a ridiculously high forehead because of the way it's lying. I might also possibly straighten this bit, because as you can see at the moment, it's kind of like got this raised bit to it, which is pretty, and it is good if you want to swipe it all to one side. But I personally would probably prefer it to be flatter. I'm not really into the big poofy looks. I prefer it to be flat, and so I will probably flatten it down a little. I might even trim back some of this blonde, because I think it's probably a bit much. I'd still have it, but I'd probably just take that bit off and leave this bit so that it looks a bit more balanced, because having that there just seems to give it that really weird raised bit. But I'll have a play with it before I start chopping at it. If I can flatten it down a bit and cut the lace back a bit, it might be better. But the actual wig itself I really like. I do wonder if it would look better straight though, so just pure straight. But yeah, I'm going to think on that. The first time I put it on, I wanted it straight. The second time I liked it as it was, so I'm still sitting on the fence on that one. As well as buying all these wigs, I have actually been selling some as well. So I've gotten rid of quite a few this week that have gone down to the post office. I've also gotten rid of some straighteners and some bits and pieces. I got gifted some straighteners to try, which I will be doing a review on. And they were really, really good. There was no obligation to leave a review or anything like that. They were just gifted to me. But they are, incredibly good, better than I would have hoped for. So I had another pair that had similar features, and I preferred these ones, so they went and got sold, and they've moved on to a new home today. So that's good, because I don't really want to keep piling up on clutter. I'm trying to get to the policy that if I buy a wig, to go out, so that I'm revolving the stock and, well, my stock, getting it out, so that I'm not overwhelmed with wigs all the time, and I'm just keeping what I will actually wear. I mean, this couple of weeks in the Leicestershire has been absolutely horrendous heat wise, and so I haven't been able to do much filming or get up here to do it because it's been just too hot, and that's a bit disappointing, because I like to wear my wigs and I can't wear them in this heat. It's just way too much. It's different if you're on holiday and you're just going out for a few hours in it, which I like to do, and I will probably do when I go away at some point in the year. But I just don't want to be hot and sticky at work all day in a wig, and that's why I'm not wearing them at the moment. We'll see what I do with this one, just changing the subject slightly. Last two wigs for this video. These ones came all the way from America. The brand is called Kakira or something similar to that. Never tried them before, but the wigs look really nice and I wanted to try them. The only issue I did have with these was when they turned up, they were a little bit smelly. I think they had been washed, but I think whoever owned them was possibly a smoker, and there was quite a heavy smell on it, but I have actually gotten that out now after a few washes. So this is the first one. I was actually really shocked when I put these on with how much I liked them, because I wasn't expecting them to look so good. So this one, which I really love, it's got pink all the way through the front, and then it's also got these other coloured highlights through it, which I didn't notice when I bought it. So there's a little bit of lilac in there and a little bit of blue. I love the hairline, it's really good quality as well. Hides my red under there really, really well. Don't know what the styles are, unfortunately, because it didn't say. But yeah, that was one of them. And this is the other one. This one is a little bit like one of my Geluna wigs, because it is sort of brown base with red and blonde in it. But the length of it I really love. It's nice and easy to throw on. Again, awesome hairline. Just having those lighter bits through the front makes a huge difference to the hairline. It just makes it look more natural. So this is a brand that I will be looking for more of, because I'm really happy with that. I seem to keep finding more wigs that are my favourite brand. And the good thing about this is this has been washed a few times to get the smell out. And again, the curls are just maintained really, really nicely, the waves in there. Although I did make sure that I washed them in cold water, because I didn't want to get the fibres to change shape. I did want to remain with that wave, and it's really, really pretty. So yeah, that's the last of them for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. As always, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time when I've got some more to show you. Thanks for watching.